J. Frederick Smith here, Continental Realty of Jackson. Today we're at 5234 Benning Street in the west side of Jacksonville. This is a pretty quiet little street, not too far from the Revlon factory. That's what you're seeing down there. Currently this property is listed by opendoor.com. If you have a property that you'd like to see, this one or any other, of course, in Jacksonville, you can contact me and I'd be happy to help you with that. Anyway, I just thought you'd like to see a little bit about the neighborhood before we actually walked around the home. This street does not really go through, so you're not going to see a lot of traffic on it. The neighborhood, the homes here in this area look well cared for. Yards are mostly mowed. Homes look mostly clean. I'm not seeing a whole lot of debris or things broken. I'm not seeing a lot of broken down houses. Really, it's a nice little neighborhood. The house in question is 2 houses from the corner, off grade, with a concrete block foundation, and looks like vinyl siding, or maybe it's an old wood lap siding. Actually, it looks like the original old wood lap siding as I get closer to it. But we'll just take a quick look around the outside of the home. There's no garage, but I think there used to be, and they added on here. One way I know for sure that's happened is the siding here is T111, which is that vertical, it's a sheet, rather than the lap siding that we see over here on the original part of the house. So that's one way I can be pretty sure that this used to be a garage and has now been renovated into something else. Let's take a look around the back. We've got a rhododendron right here pretty close to the house. You know, you have to be careful with rhododendrons because they are poisonous to animals and people alike, and not to touch, but you know, if you eat them. And you know how dogs are, and sometimes cats too. If you have a goat, you're in big trouble if there's a rhododendron, that's for sure, because that guy's going to eat that thing and that'll be the end of him. Well, I guess it's a drinking fountain. Okay, whatever. So the big mound over there is for the drain field, because this is on a septic tank. I'm not sure what the little shed is here, the blue one, but we can go back and take a look. The yard itself is a nice sized backyard, really big, looks good, but it's hard to get to. Can't really get in very easily between the trees there and the fence. Not a lot of room, but maybe you could work something out if you needed to pull in a big truck. This shed that's back here, unfortunately, because it's a structure built on the property, could be called out by an FHA inspector or a VA inspector. It is a shed. It doesn't look like the pump house. And the reason why they could call it out is because there are things like some dry rot on the siding. So because it's a structure that's been built on the property, they look at that the same way as they would look at your house. It's ridiculous. But, you know, for some reason they feel like if the structure on the property is in trouble, well, then that means there's problems with the house too. I guess I don't know. But I do know for a fact that FHA VA inspectors will look at that, and there is a possibility that they will decide that it is not acceptable. And then you'll either have to tear that thing down or get it repaired. I've had to tear down a few. So this has been painted over the top of old lead-based paint. It was not cleaned off first. They just sprayed paint right over it. I see a lot of that on the outside of the house where the paint is peeling off. This is the old original lead-based paint. You can see right down there to the wood. And lead-based paint is hazardous. It's dangerous when you've got kids around, especially. They'll find a little chip of that and chew on it, and that's really bad. There was a doorway here into this part of the house, and they filled that in with some new lap, or maybe this is a sheet, actually. No, it looks like it's lap. They just filled this in to seal in the door, but they did it in such a way as it doesn't really look very good. The seams are not clean or properly caulked. Now we're looking at what would be the back door. There is some steps and a handrail attached to the side of the house, so that's good. I'm actually looking around and I'm seeing quite a few places where there's repairs that have been done, where they've changed the siding, and actually we've got different siding. So this here is a cement fiber siding made by the Hardy company, Hardy Board, and this is the original wood siding. They don't really line up very well. You can see that there is a nice edge here, and if it's going to keep the house solid, but you have to really watch your seams to make sure that they don't crack open, and especially when the seam is the gigantic seam that you have here. What are they thinking? They just put a piece of wood there to seal that up rather than glomming in the putty. We've also got two different kinds of a vertical board siding here, and at the joint there is supposed to be a metal flange. It goes underneath the top piece, and then it goes across the top of this piece, and then it comes down, and that prevents water from getting between these two pieces of wood, because there's water when it runs down. It's going to hit the seam, and then it's going to go back inside. It will go in by what's called a wicking action. It will wick in, just like the wick of a candle will pull wax, hot melted wax, into it to burn, okay? Or the wick of an oil lamp. Same kind of a principle. The water wicks in, and then you get rot inside there. If that flanging was there like it's supposed to be, that metal flanging, you would not have any kind of a problem with that, but there isn't any there, so that makes me wonder, what would happen. So you've got some openings into the crawl space area, big enough for animals. If you look, you can see right there under the stairs that there is a cinder block turned on its edge that is for allowing airflow, but it also allows for rat and cat and possum flow. And that to me is a problem. In fact, all of these are open, and I see no screens anywhere. I do see lots of repairs on the siding still, lots and lots. But these ventilation openings should have screens so that your home does not get infested with, all the kind of things that you don't want to have living under your house. Every place that you see an opening like this in the cement or like that is a place that something is going to be able to get in. Lizards, birds, cats, mice, snakes, not to mention the bugs, of course. Dogs, rodents, possums, raccoons, I won't go so far as to say crocodiles, but pretty much any other kind of an animal that's small will be able to fit through those openings, and then they can make a nice little warm home, keep them out of the rain and whatnot, and you just don't need that. So screens on all of these little vents along the front and the back really is something necessary. All right, we're going to go into the front now here through what would be the front door. Okay, actually, we don't have the special combo box on this door, so let's look around and see if there's another door. Maybe it was over by the garage. Open door always puts a combination, digital combination deadbolt. Here we go. So we're going to go ahead and get inside here in just a moment, and then we can take a look at the inside of the property, and we'll have a new video for that.